Oh,
Joe. Give us a rundown of how your camp's been going so far.
I think this camp's gone real good so far. I think I came into camp at a good weight, and I feel like we've implemented a few things which have been very beneficial. We can see inspiring, and we can see a lot more power, you know. And so I feel like the camp's gone great, and I feel I'm in good shape. So there's no excuse. I should be fit, strong, healthy, and ready for the fight come December 15th.
Joe, Alexander, he was in here earlier. He says the fight's not going 10 rounds. He wins the fight by knockout inside of 10. What do you think about that? What do you say to that?
You know, it shows his confidence. It shows that he backs himself. I don't think he would have taken the fight if he didn't think he'll win. But I think there's levels to this, and I feel he hasn't had the same opposition. And I feel if he feels like there's going to be early stoppage, it'll probably be him gone. That's what I feel. So see what happens.
He was saying that he questioned your stamina.
Yeah.
He said that he doesn't think you can fight for 10 rounds. That you were tired after a couple rounds with White. What do you make of that? Because I've never really heard anyone else say that about you before.
I've been 12 rounds many times now, so I think he should do his homework. Maybe he hasn't really done his homework, but has he gone 10 rounds?
No, he's never been beyond
So
8.
he hasn't been 10 rounds, so I feel my stamina is good. I'm always in shape, and I'm always ready to go the distance or go make it a short fight, you know, if I catch him clean.
And there's been a lot of talk, even Kevin, we talked to Roy Jones earlier. They all say Joe has the ability to beat anybody in the division, but he needs more of a killer instinct. He needs to be more of a hunter in there. Do you agree with that? And do you think that's something you could bring out going forward?
Yeah, I think there's an element of that I could bring out or show more of. I think being nice outside of the ring and then being nice in the ring doesn't work. So if I have to punch him in the balls, I'll punch him in the balls. You know, if I have to elbow his face, I will. Now this will be. It's not. Now it's not talking. It's not about talking about it. It's gonna. I'm gonna be about it. So come fight night will be. If he tries to do any dirty tricks, I'll counter with some dirtier ones.
Is this something you've addressed in this camp in the wake of the Dillian White fight when you were on the end of some pretty questionable tactics? What have you done in your sparring and your training to sort of address that, Joe?
I was a lot of people questioned if I could be mongrel with the Dillian White fight. So with this fight or this training camp, I think if you ask the sparring partners, they've really held down here a few times and tripped them up, throw them around the ring. So I feel it's something we have to do. It's you not only have to box smart, but you have to be ruthless inside the ring.
Well, you're such a technical boxer. Has this come sort of hard to you a bit, do you think, to sort of get this sort of other edge to your game?
No, I feel it's important to be an all-rounder fighter. If I can be good technically, but I got to be good at roughing it up in there and wrestling and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's just adding another extra thing to the arsenal that we already have.
Following up on his question, we've never heard you really say that before. Was it because of that headbutt in the Dillian White fight that you arrived at this conclusion that you need to go low?
Headbutt, and then I think that's a different story. Not being able to, the body and the mind disconnected, and I feel like I was in a dream. Mm-hmm. But I could have done a bit more to,
But is that why you've decided now that no more Mr. Nice Guy?
Listen, we've always talked about being more aggressive and not being Mr. Nice Guy, but we haven't really done it. And, I haven't really shown it in camp. So if you're not showing it in camp, how are you going to be able to show it in the fight? So now we're seeing it more in camp. So I think when fight time comes, it's not something that we're not familiar with. We've already familiarized ourselves with doing it in the gym.
Joe, have you consciously wanted to be more aggressive since the 2 fights you lost?
Yeah.
I mean, I recall in your early fights, you get somebody in trouble, you really went after them.
Yeah.
In later fights, it seems like you've been more technical and patient. A lot of people think that's great boxing, and it is. But now the question is the aggressiveness, especially the Joshua, and you certainly did it at the end of the White fight.
Yeah, I think the last 2 fights I haven't really shown that aggression that I need to show.
And is that something that you're working on? I mean, I watched you spar and I see it, but people want to know.
I mean, if you have Kevin around you, he's he keeps pushing you and sort of installing it into your mind, you know, every single day. And I think this camp, I think the 8 weeks we've had so far, is we've seen a lot of it.
I mean, you've got a great jab, you double, you triple your jab sometimes. Do you feel like you got to throw more right hands? I mean,
I feel
consciously.
more right hands will be, you know, the jab is good. It's a good weapon.
It's a great weapon.
It's a great weapon to have, but it's a good sort of, you know, to start off with. But you got the right hands, the one that's going to do the big damage, you know.
Are you consciously working on that?
Definitely. And if you see, you know, I don't know if you can catch some training, you'll see that we're working on it a lot more than what we did in the last few camps.
Is that nick on your nose evidence of these sparring sessions being more brutal? Of
I
more?
want to shave my monobrow now. No, it's yeah, a bit of a scratch, you know. This is what happens in sparring. You know, a bit of a glove that goes across your face, and all of a sudden there's blood. But then I didn't want to get rid of it. I show that I'm, you know, scars from war.
There's the work you've done, the extensive work you've done with your strength and conditioning coach. Does that help this sort of new approach that you're bringing
the
now?
strength. I think if it wasn't for the strength coach and what we doing throughout the whole camp, I wouldn't be able to go 12 rounds with Joshua fight and sort of move around like that. 12 rounds with Dillian fight, and I feel with the work that he's done, a lot more power. You know, we did the work with him in the beginning of the year, but I felt like it's taken the whole year for the body to actually, you know, get used to it and develop and grow. And I feel like I'm getting, you know, I'm getting a bit bigger now.
There's been concerns that would come at a bit of a cost of your speed and movement and that in your past, which has been, you know, one of your strengths. How have you sort of managed to compromise that?
Like Kev's got some great drills that we do, you know, each day, or you know, that we're still working on maintaining the speed that we have and good movement. You know, without the movement, you know, I'll be getting caught more, but I don't feel like I've been getting caught a lot.
And this camp, Kim was saying, with your strength and conditioning guy, it's probably been the most beneficial in terms of having, you know, real dedicated time to it, which you probably didn't have with the White.
Oh yeah. I mean, you know, now we know that for us, the minimum camp we'll have for any fight we'll have from now on until he's a strong man. But I'm a work in progress. But we can see improvements in the weights that we're lifting and his strength and power.